So apparently our guinea fowl are coming Saturday. So we have a lot of work to do, don't we?
Yeah.
We have to get ready for them. What were we doing on the weekend? We were supposed to be building our coop.
Yeah, but we were too focused on the horse that was gonna come, Stevie.
We
Because
weren't planning on that happening so fast.
yeah,
So now, tomorrow, I guess we're gonna have to get on this chicken coop for the guinea fowl. I'm all about saving money where I can and reducing waste. So when we needed a chicken coop, I thought, why not try and see if we can repurpose this shed that we were no longer using and turn it into a chicken coop. It is chicken coop building day, so we are going to be converting this shed into a chicken coop for the guinea fowl. It's all smiles now that the fire department came to save the day. Scott thought it would be a great idea to start a fire to burn up some of the brush that we had been clearing while we were building the chicken coop, which is right behind us here. He thought it was good multitasking. In fairness to Scott, it had been wet and muddy in the days leading up to it. Unfortunately, it was also windy, and so the pine needles on top had really dried out. He was actually going to put the fire out because we were about to build the coop, and I was complaining about the smell of smoke. And just as he did that, the wind picked up, changed directions, the flames jumped into the pine needles, and it took off. We couldn't stop it. We were running buckets of water back and forth. It was mass hysteria and panic here. There was no smiling until the fire department came and bailed us out of our mess. After the fire, we were emotionally and physically exhausted, so we weren't on the top of our game when we were building this coop. we were too lazy to go and get a tape measure and a level. It wasn't our best work, but it does the job. After we cleaned up the shed, we quickly gathered up the materials that we had found around the property. So we had 6 4-inch posts. Then we took our 2x4 and figured out where it was going to fit nicely under the roof of the shed. Placing the 4-inch posts up to the 2x4, we marked where we needed to cut. Now, this is where you're going to want to make sure that you're using a tape measure and a level, but since neither one of us wanted to go back to the house to get it, we decided to forgo that. Once we had our posts cut, it was time to assemble. We started replacing the 4-inch posts, one on either side of the shed door, and secured them with a 2x4 on the bottom as well as the top. Then we went and did the same frame on the opposite end. Now we had 2 8-foot by 8-foot panels that we connected using 2x4s on the bottom and the top. This gave us an 8-foot by 8-foot cube. In order to make sure it was strong and secure, and also so we had somewhere to attach the fencing, we made sure to put another 4-inch post in the middle of each side panel, as well as a 2x4 across the middle of the ceiling panel. After a quick inspection from Julia, we ran the fencing up the sides, over the top, and down the other side. Starting with the ceiling panel, we attached the fencing to the wood using the staples, and then we worked our way down the sides, that way making sure it all stayed nice and straight. I was picky and wanted it to look nice from the outside when we were done, so I just wanted a nice clean edge. So when we came around the top with the wire, when we got down to the ground on the other side, we just cut the wire using our wire cutters and then fed it onto the inside of the 2x4 and stapled it there. You just want to make sure that there's not going to be any sharp edges when you're done that could hurt the guineas. When the fencing comes over the top, it's not going to sit very nicely. So to have it sit nice and flat, I just used my fingers and bent the wire along the top. I made sure to do it underneath as well so that it would sit nice and flush.
I found a snail shell in the bottom of the light.
Yeah. I don't know how that got in there. All right, back to work.
Once the fence was secure, it was on to the door. All we needed to do was add a 2x4 to create a door frame. And in terms of the door, we were fortunate enough to have a friend who was in the process of cleaning out a barn and didn't need his chicken coop door anymore. But if you're going to be doing one from scratch, just keep in mind you're either going to need to do a solid panel at the bottom or buy an entire new roll of fencing because you're going to fall just short. And we just used 1x1 strips of wood. The last thing you want to do is just attach some hooks for locking the door. We did one at the top as well as one at the bottom just to make sure predators couldn't get in. And hard lesson learned, you're going to want to do one on the inside of your coop as well so that when you are in the coop, the birds can't push their way out. Hopefully this has given you some ideas and inspired you to have a look around your property to see what you might be able to repurpose into a coop. And if you can't find anything, then have a look around in the community. People are always getting rid of things, whether it is extra wood, they're piecing out their coop, or it might be something completely different that with a little bit of imagination you can turn into your own coop. Check out all our videos of life on the farm, and don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Barn Boots and Country Roots.
2 hula hoops at once.
Hula hoop master.
I haven't hula hooped in like a very long time.
Getting tired.
It just hurts at your sides.
I know.
Because you just have like hula hoops hitting it.
Well, you've been hula hooping all day now. Minus when we were putting a fire out.